tonight on Evening.
Good times, the great oldies. I'm Mark Christopher.
An iconic Seattle radio voice signs off.
45 years? I've done it. I've hit the checkered flag, and it feels great.
Oh la la, it's me, Cisco Morris. Check out this hydrangea. Red leaves, red flowers. How do you beat that?
And grab your bagpipes and your kilt and win tickets to the Scottish Highland Games.
Hi, I'm Kelly Hansen, and I'm with some new friends for a special night with Evening. You usually see me on New Day Northwest, but I'm so excited to be in Renton today at the Sammamish Animal Sanctuary with more than 60 rescues. How do you describe this special place here?
Well, it's a tapestry of many people's dreams. It started off maybe as mine. We're one of the very few sanctuaries that allow people to come.
Here you go.
We don't charge, and that's really important to me, that people can come no matter what their situation is. They can come and enjoy animals, and I think it just creates appreciation and empathy toward animals, and hopefully that will just kind of rub off their empathy toward each other. It brings so much joy. Excuse me, Magoo.
I love it. This is the best day of my life.
Hi, Amelia.
Hi, Amelia.
Yay. I bottle fed her for the first 3 months of her life. You were very small, weren't you, sweetheart? Yes, you were.
Yeah, she's a big girl.
We are 100% donation.
Oh, really?
People know now, whatever they give, it really goes straight to the animals and their care.
Hello. You can feel the passion from you and the love. Anything else that you want people to know about this spectacular place?
Well, you have to experience it, and you should come and enjoy it and be a part of it, because everybody who comes becomes a part of it.
Sammamish Animal Sanctuary is free to visit, but they do rely on donations to keep the doors open. And Diane has written 9 children's books that are actually about the farm animals here. Pretty special stuff. And there's a July tradition in Enumclaw where everyone is Scottish for one weekend. Here's Saint with more on why.
Scotland is coming to the Pacific Northwest. It's time for the 78th Annual Scottish Highland Games and Clan Gathering. Break out the bagpipes, gather your clan, and join the celebration. There will be dancing, plenty of music, herd dog competitions, and the games with those amazing feats of strength. Head to Enumclaw July 25th through the 27th for the Pacific Northwest Scottish Highland Games and Clan Gathering.
Again, the Pacific Northwest Scottish Highland Games are in Enumclaw July 26th and 27th, and if you stay tuned, you could win tickets for the whole entire family. And next, after 45 years, a Seattle iconic radio personality is retiring. Mark Christopher is signing off, and Saint has more about his amazing career.
97.3 KBSG. Trying to figure out that phone number for the Diamonds and Dollars Song of the Day giveaway. I'll have it for you very soon. Have a pen ready.
Think of your voice as an instrument, say a trumpet. I'm Mark Christopher. See, for sunshine brings 80-degree temperature, you have to learn how to talk high. You have to learn to bring it low. You need to get some energy, and you need to back off. If you can accomplish that, that will develop a voice.
The voice Mark Christopher developed has served him well over the past 40-plus years. He's not just walking away from radio, he's cruising past his lakefront home aboard a pontoon boat into what he calls his encore life.
45 years? I've done it. I've hit the checkered flag, and it feels great.
In a guest bedroom closet that served as a makeshift studio during the pandemic, Mark is surrounded by mementos.
My first job, Colfax. Mount St. Helens and Mark Christopher came alive at the same time back in 1980. We both have been doing great things ever since, right? There's the original first picture of Mark Christopher, midday announcer, hired in 1989 at KBSG, Good Times and Great Oldies. I was there, same shift, until the summer of 2008.
There's a picture of Mark with the Seagulls cheerleading squad.
We did parades, we did appearances, we did major events.
For 3 years, Mark successfully campaigned to get the Ventures inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They gave me the gift of a lifetime, my very own autographed electric beach surf guitar signed by the Ventures. It still puts tears in my eyes every time I share this with everybody.
Over the last decade, we'd run into Mark at a variety of radio stations, playing Christmas music at Warm 106.9 or working for Como News Radio. Now, he's leaving on his own terms with a nice patch of paradise and mornings freed up to do whatever he wants.
So for a couple of years, I've asked people, what's it like to retire? What's the best time to retire? Don't do it in the fall and winter. 4 o'clock, it gets dark. There's nothing to do. Do it in the spring and summer so you can enjoy the nice weather and feel like the last day of school. All right, summer vacation.
Hopefully for many more summers to come.
Great oldies back to back. 97.3 is
Thanks, Saint. And with a bunch of MC events and hosting gigs on the calendar, Mark says he won't be out on his pontoon boat every single day. We'll see about that. And happy birthday to one of the leaders in cancer research and care. Fred Hutch Cancer Center is celebrating 50 years. We take a look back at the history with Chris Cashman.
Go to the best people, it can save your life. And for me, Fred Hutch had the best.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the things that Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center had been doing, was pioneering at that time.
For 50 years, Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center has stood as a beacon of hope in the fight against cancer. Dr. Fred Applebaum, Executive Vice President, has been with Fred Hutch since 1978. He's also the Cancer Center's unofficial historian. He's seen it grow into the world-renowned institution it is today. But it began with a brother's love and a surgeon's vision.
Bill Hutchinson was a really prominent Seattle surgeon. In 1955, he formed something called the Pacific Northwest Research Foundation, which basically was just an old building and had some lab space in it that people could use.
Bill Hutchinson's brother, Fred Hutchinson, was a beloved local baseball hero, pitching for the Seattle Rainiers, then going pro with the Detroit Tigers. But there was one thing this competitor couldn't defeat.
But then in 1964, Bill's brother, Fred, died of cancer. And that changed Bill's view of what the Pacific Northwest Research Foundation should be, that it should really be dedicated to one thing, cancer. And he wanted to dedicate it to his brother, Fred.
That was the origin of the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. It opened its doors in 1975, bringing together a dedicated team of doctors and scientists to battle cancer. 50 years after first opening its doors, Fred Hutch remains driven by the same passion and compassion that motivated Bill Hutchinson, turning scientific discovery into hope and hope into healing. The legacy continues, one breakthrough at a time.
Want to learn more about the impact that Fred Hutch has had and the lives that they've saved? Don't miss our special show celebrating Fred Hutch's 50th anniversary this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Beyond Breakthroughs, 50 Years of Fred Hutch.
Up next,
Oh la la!
Cisco's got a favorite new plant.
I love to live a Tweedle out of this.
Portions of Evening sponsored by Pacific Northwest Scottish Highland Games. This month's Cisco segment sponsored by Dram, the professional's choice for lawn and garden.
Welcome back to Sammamish Animal Sanctuary, where clearly I'm in heaven. Hydrangeas are amazing and they are out in full bloom. And Master Gardener Cisco Morris is here to tell us about some that are red instead of blue.
Oh la la! I love to live a Tweedle out of this brand new hydrangea. It's called Eclipse, and it's a big leaf hydrangea. That's the normal type that many of us have. and it has red leaves all summer long. You want to plant this where it gets morning sun. So have you noticed that almost every hydrangea you see has blue flowers? That's because we have acid soil. We have tons of aluminum in the soil, and if a plant can pick up aluminum, a hydrangea plant, then the flowers turn blue. If the hydrangea can't pick up aluminum, then the flowers turn red. So the trick is to keep the soil alkaline, because hydrangeas can't pick up aluminum in alkaline soil. So how do I do that? Okay, here's my magic ingredient. This is alfalfa meal. And this stuff, it's not that high in nutrition. It's horse food, you know. And it is very alkaline. It also has micronutrients and hormones in it that tell your plant, bloom you fool, bloom. Here's a big tip. If you use this stuff, don't breathe it, because if you do, you'll get all clogged up. I'm good at holding my breath, but if you're not, then wear one of those masks left over from the pandemic. Okay, I'm gonna put 2 cups of this right around this hydrangea. So I do this 2 times a year to a hydrangea that I want to keep the flowers red. So once probably in April, and then about 6 weeks or 8 weeks later. And it's really important to work it in. That way, no little critters are gonna try and eat this stuff. And it also, it gets it into the soil where it's gonna do the most good for the plant. Okay, now I just gotta water this in, of course. And now I'm gonna have these beautiful red leaves and red flowers for the rest of the summer. What could be cooler than that?
The only thing cooler is my buddy Cisco, who is truly a national treasure. And the red hydrangea is called an eclipse. Well, Smithsonian Magazine just launched their top 15 small towns, and we actually have one featured from the Yakima Valley. Here's Saint with more.
When Ed Marquand first saw Tieton, the small town just outside Yakima was in pretty rough shape.
When we got here in 2005, not only was it economically depressed, but I think a lot of the people who lived here just felt depressed because there wasn't really any hope of changing the trajectory that the town was in.
But Ed had an idea: convert abandoned agriculture-based buildings into spaces where artisan businesses could create, while helping the local area as well.
We had developed this model of kind of a hands across the Cascades, realizing creative business ambitions from Seattle people on the west side, but doing the production here and hiring people from the community. One of the first buildings we bought was the mighty Tieton warehouse. It had been a cold storage apple soft fruit warehouse for a couple of decades.
Now spaces that were long empty are home to talents like kinetic sound sculptor Trimpin.
The sound space we have here consists of many of the instruments he's made over the decades. They can live here, he can use the space to compose for them. Occasionally they go off to museum exhibits and then they come back. We took a cold storage room with very high ceilings and created an art gallery with changing exhibitions. Inside the Mosaic Studio, we create glass murals that are hung in public places. I did a little research and discovered that there weren't any typographic mosaic studios in the country anymore, and decided that that might be a good enterprise. We started doing fruit label mosaics. So if you come to Tieton and drive around, you'll see 7 large mosaics, and they're all based on local fruit labels.
Today, the town is a much different place than the one Ed first saw years ago.
We've certainly filled a lot of the storefronts around here. We've employed lots of people. We've brought a lot of good press to the community. The people who live here have been so welcoming, so enthusiastic, and are very eager to participate in big and small ways.
Agriculture meets artisans. The mighty Tieton project is bearing fruit for all.
The article also mentions the Day of the Dead celebration and bighorn sheep and elk as just another reason to visit this small but mighty town.
Up next, one of the most spectacular waterfalls in Washington.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
I want to check that out.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
Welcome back to Sammamish Animal Sanctuary. And did you know that Washington State actually has a state waterfall? I didn't, and that might be because it's off the beaten path.
From a hillside streaked with the ripples of an ancient flood, to the ghostly tracks of pioneer wagon wheels, the scablands of eastern Washington have stories to tell.
Here on the side, you can start seeing the different layers of basalt, different flows that came through.
And Lloyd Stoss is listening.
When that water came through here, they estimate the water was traveling around 70 miles an hour.
As the local chapter president of the Ice Age Floods Institute, Lloyd looks across this landscape and sees a long ago battle between earth and water.
As deep as it is and as fast as it's moving, it cleans everything out.
"15,000 years ago, a massive dam of ice gave way north of here, and a torrent of water equal to 35,000 Niagara Falls flooded much of what is now Washington State in mere hours. The etched earthscape that remains is one of a kind.
If you want to find similar landscape to this, you can go to the planet Mars.
It's really spectacular.
One of the most stunning remnants of that Ice Age resculpting is the 186-foot-high Palouse Falls.
Sometimes the Palouse Canyon is called the Grand Canyon of Washington State.
It's grand, all right. The river above is largely hidden from most viewpoints, so the falls seem to erupt from the cliffside.
The superlative I always hear is, wow.
This basalt formation overlooking the canyon adds a touch of fairy tale magic.
We call that the castle.
The waterfall is a favorite for photographers eager to capture its every mood.
But I like to come down in the winter after 2 weeks of below freezing weather, and it's all turned into a nice castle from all the sprays.
Sadly, this natural beauty has also held a fatal attraction for some visitors.
There's been accidents down here where people have gotten too close to the edge and fallen off.
An extreme kayaker made the plummet on purpose in 2009.
And right now that is the official highest transverse of a waterfall in a kayak.
This breathtaking landscape offers thousands of sites bearing silent witness to the Ice Age, and one that tells its story with a roar.
Palouse Falls became Washington State's official waterfall in 2014, and now you know.
Up next, win tickets to the Scottish Highland Games. Now in our 39th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Thanks to support from PEMCO Insurance. PEMCO empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at PEMCO.com.
Welcome back to Sammamish Animal Sanctuary with my new buddy. It's a Scottish Highlander heifer, and pretty precious there. If you want to help this amazing place, just go to king5evening.com. All the information will be there. Speaking of Highlander, here's how you can win a 4-pack of tickets to the Pacific Northwest Scottish Highland Games. Just go to Evening's Instagram post about the games and tell us what you'd love to see. Bagpipes, strong people throwing huge logs in the air? How about some kilts? So watch out for that DM and see if you're a winner. Thanks so much for watching, and Frilly and I say goodbye.